Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap, and today I'm going to do something that may be one of my disaster soaps, but I don't know. I saw a painting. It was very abstract, but it used colors that are similar to this. Now these are very loud colors. I'm going to be putting them into our Shea Butter Melt and Pour and see if I can tone them down a little bit. We are going to do it into this mold. I finally got a silager, so I'm really happy. So we know that this takes about 20 ounces. Now I've known that whenever I say that and measure it, because of how heavy that these bases can be, it's always something like 21 or 22 ounces. So what I've done is I have my main color, which is going to be a white. It's off to the side here, and this has 9 ounces. So I actually do know that I might actually have to add a little bit, and that's okay. And then these have about 7. So I do have a little over 20, closer to 23 or 24. And we'll see how it goes. But the first thing I need to do is we need to make our shreds. So I'm going to go ahead and melt these two down, and then we're going to put them in our basic pink rectangular mold and let them set. Okay, so these are done. They are melted down. This is at 175 and 180. So I don't want to put my scent in. The scent today is going to be Yuzu Cybella. What I can do though is I can go ahead and get my Micas ready, because it really just doesn't matter at this point. It's safe to put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my alcohol. And by the way, if you can't find alcohol on Amazon, you can find it usually at Walmart. They seem to have a good stock. Now the color I'm using today, this is actually Orange Magma. This is one of the neon oranges, but like I said, I'm going to try and tone it down a little bit in the soap. Whenever you use an opaque, it usually makes your color turn a little bit pastel. And I was going to use their Cosmic Blue, but I thought that might be too much. So I'm going to be using Blue Lagoon, because I kind of like, there's like a greenish hue there, which I really like. So we'll go ahead and get that mixed in too. I don't use this color very often, and I don't know why. It's really pretty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mix those up, and then we will put them into our soap. And you can probably hear Chewbacca walking. The old man is walking around here. So we're going to go ahead and we're first going to mix in our orange. And it is bright. Now, if it's too bright for you, what you could do is you could probably mix in a little bit of a white color block or titanium dioxide. But if you can see it, see how it's turning pastel? Perfect. If we kept this in a glycerin, it would have been, I think, too dark for our design. Next, we're going to do the blue. This is a pretty, it's like a, I think it's like a blue-green. Now, I think I need to make it a little bit darker for what we're doing. So I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. Okay, so we have our new mica. Oh, look, we're getting skin already. We have our mica mixed up. I just want to make it a little bit darker. Just want to get this stuff to set before I go to work. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, oh shoot, our scent. Let's see. 153. 159, we're good. So we're going to be using over a pound of soap. So it's going to be safe to put, so I do 5 mLs per pound. And since we're going a little bit over, I'm going to be adding about 2 mLs to each of these, a little bit over 2 mLs actually. Each of these droppers is 3 mLs. So go for the halfway point. I can't remember if this is a clear, so it won't discolor, and it really doesn't matter because these are pretty strong colors. Okay, so you can see the blue's already developing a skin. I'm going to mix that out. And we're going to just pour it into our handy dandy rectangular mold, and this will be dealt with in our salad shooter. Next will be the orange. Be done last. It's after we get this taken care of. So we're gonna go ahead and let these set, and then we will come back and we will finish our design. Okay, so these have set up nicely, and so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pop them out of our mold. Now there are 2 ways you can do this design, or actually I think there's a 3rd way. Okay, so if you don't have a salad shooter, which you can get used, I got mine used off of Amazon, refurbished, but I kind of figured, you know, why not? You could actually use a vegetable peeler. Make sure you use one that has no guard though, and you can do your curls that way. And so this comes out really nicely here. I'm not really going to go for curls. Another thing you can do is, these are like really inexpensive cheese graters. I'm not really good at it, and that's basically how you can do it. And what I've seen people do is they'll roll these up kind of at an angle. If I can do it, it's going to take a little bit of me doing it, but it can be like a little rosette. And they'll put them in their soaps like that. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to today use a salad shooter. Now it comes with 2 attachments. This, well, I guess I'll show you how this one comes out. It comes out as like real little squiggles. I'll show you. And then this one is more like just kind of a slice. I'm actually going to be using this one today for the effect that I'm going for. This is great for confetti soap. And the reason I love this now is because it takes me a long time to do this if I don't scrape my fingernail or something like that. It's just, it's fine, and it will do the job. So make sure if you're going to do a vegetable peeler, make sure you get one with no guard. So the first thing I'm going to do to put it in the salad shooter is I'm just going to cut these down because it doesn't take really big sizes. So like to this size. And then you're going to need a container to catch. You want to make sure that whatever you cut will fit into this. Okay, so now we have our blocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get one of my mats to catch these as they go in. I'll just put these here for now. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so I have our silicone mat here. I have this unplugged, and let me see if I can remember how I do this. Believe it or not, I haven't done it in a little while. I believe it goes like this, and then this goes on top, and we're set. This comes out, and then we will plug it in. This part gets a little loud, so I'll give you a sample. So what I would do is I'm going to go ahead and mute this part, and I'll just go ahead and do the shredding. Okay, so I unplugged it, and every once in a while you might get some stuck in here, but I didn't really have many. I have way too many embeds for her soap, but that's okay because I can just wash this down and I can use these on other things. So let me clean up here and then we'll get started on the next step. I just realized I was going to show you what the smaller grater did. So I will go ahead and I'm going to just put a couple of these in because it's not exactly what I want in the design, but at least you guys can see it. So I'll show you a couple of those. So that was kind of neat because I just threw a couple in and it actually, well, some of them it put them together, but do you see how small those are? I don't know if you can see that there. But they're really tiny, so I mean it's just really quick. So I think we're going to be doing a soap using this where it's just kind of like confetti, but the pieces are very small, so I'm kind of excited about that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off again and we'll be back. Okay, so we have our mold ready. I'm going to be using my trusted little mold, and I have my little hole that's here this way, so I know I'm going to be cutting this way, so I'll get 4 bars. I'm going to go ahead and melt down our white shea butter melt and pour, and I'm going to add in 2 mLs of Yuzu Cybella, and then we're going to go ahead and finish our design. Okay, so we have this melted down, and it's a little on the warmer side. Now Yuzu, I don't like to put fragrances in unless it's under 150, but I want it to be a little hot, and this has enough fragrance in it. So what we're going to do is 164.3. So I think the Yuzu, I think the flash point, because it's worn off the label, I think it's in the 130s or 140s. I went ahead and put 2 mLs in it. Next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do the scent in here because this could be a lot cooler when I put it into the little mold. But that being said, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to fill, I have these mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and fill our mold. And then we're going to pour right on top of it. And this will be good because it'll have kind of a little bit of a chunky. I did squirt these with alcohol earlier, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pour, and it's okay if it melts. I want it to melt a little bit. I don't want to disrupt it too much, but I do want it to melt a little bit. And as what happened before, I had 9 ounces here. It didn't fill up my mold completely. So I need to melt some more down and we'll be back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and melted some more down. I just didn't use all of these embeds, so since it's so bulky. Okay, we're about 169. When you do this, make sure you, because there's air can be stuck down there, make sure you bounce it a little bit. Squirt alcohol, and I think give this like 2 minutes because I don't want to wait too long because I don't want to make this another layer. What I'm looking for is just, I'm not really looking for a distinction in the colors. I kind of just want it to be a light pastel with hints of the blue and hints of the orange in it. We'll see if that happens, and that's what we're going for. So let's just get this to cool down, and then we can add the embeds if needed on top. Okay, it's pretty set. We're going to go ahead and unmold and get ready to cut. A good thing to do is, sometimes these are so thick, if you feel it warm, don't unmold it. If you still feel even a little bit of warmth. If after you unmold it, you still feel, it doesn't have to be hot, but like warm, I would go ahead and just let it kind of sit in room air. So let's go ahead and unmold. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if I can show you how I cut the ends so that it matches. And what I do, and sometimes it doesn't cut all the way down, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is actually shorter than what I have. So what I'm going to try and do is line it up as best I can, just so I can shave a little bit off. And let's see. So you want to hold it here, or whatever you're using, kind of hold it tight. Hold it up against the edge here, and what you're going to try and do is just got a little bit of the soap, but that's okay. So it's really kind of hard for me to do. So basically that's what I do, and I keep doing it until I get a little bit of a shave, and it's just a little bit. I just take the end off a little bit. It's just hard to hold, but that's how I do it. But I do want you to see how it looked cut straight, which would probably just look, you know, a little plain. But I think this look came out really well. It smells really great. And I think I'm going to be doing another one where we use the smaller attachment and see how that looks in the soap. Okay, so this is Anna from Koala Soap. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.